When we think of the American dream, Hollywood paints a picture that's hard to resist. Bright lights, bustling streets, and a lifestyle that seems to promise endless excitement. But let's unpack some of these misconceptions, shall we? First off, the streets of America aren't always the dazzling, neon-lit avenues you see in movies. Sure, there are cities like New York and Las Vegas that shine bright, but many neighborhoods are just, well, normal. You might find yourself in a sleepy suburb where the most exciting thing happening is the annual bake sale. And those towering concrete jungles? They're not as glamorous as they seem. For every skyscraper, there's a block of dilapidated buildings that tell a different story, one of struggle and resilience. Now, let's talk about cowboy culture. Hollywood loves to romanticize the rugged cowboy, riding off into the sunset. But in reality, most Americans don't own a pair of boots, let alone a horse. The cowboy lifestyle is alive and well in certain parts of the country, but it's not the norm. Most of us are more likely to be found in a coffee shop than a cattle ranch. And then there's the American police force. Movies often depict them as either heroic figures or corrupt villains. The truth is much more nuanced. Police officers are part of the community, facing challenges that can't be summed up in a 2-hour action flick. They're human beings dealing with complex situations every day, and the reality of policing in America is a mix of dedication, stress, and sometimes controversy. Speaking of misconceptions, let's address the idea of wealth. Hollywood loves to showcase the glitz and glamour of the rich and famous, but the reality is that wealth is unevenly distributed. Many Americans are just getting by, living paycheck to paycheck. The average person isn't driving a flashy car or vacationing in exotic locales. Instead, they're juggling bills and trying to save for a rainy day. In car ownership, it's often portrayed as a symbol of freedom, but for many, it's a burden. The costs of insurance, maintenance, and gas can add up quickly. Public transportation is a reality for millions, especially in cities where owning a car just isn't practical. So, while Hollywood shows us the open road, the truth is that many are stuck in traffic or waiting for the bus. Now, let's dive into the American work ethic. We're often depicted as workaholics, glued to our desks, chasing the next promotion. While ambition is certainly part of the culture, there's a growing movement towards work-life balance. More people are prioritizing their mental health and seeking jobs that offer flexibility. The 9-to-5 grind is evolving, and many are finding ways to enjoy life outside of work. Lastly, the political system in the U.S. is often seen as a chaotic battleground. While it can be messy, it's also incredibly dynamic. The flexibility of our political system allows for change and adaptation, even if it feels like a roller coaster ride at times. It's a system that reflects the diverse opinions and values of the American people. And while it may not always be pretty, it's a testament to our democracy. So, as we peel back the layers of the Hollywood dream, we find a complex tapestry of realities that are often overlooked. Life in America is filled with contradictions, humor, and a whole lot of heart. It's not always what you see on the big screen, but that's what makes it all the more interesting.